My name's Tyler Kirkpatrick, and today I'm going to be talking to you about hydraulic fracking. Hydraulic fracking, or fracking as it is commonly called, is a process performed all over the world, and yet it is something that is causing a number of issues with our environment. There has been significant debate in the last decade as to whether fracking is worth the cost. It's an operation that's been occurring for the past 65 years. So in this talk, we will explore the issues that fracking causes and leave you better informed in its processes so that you may decide for yourself if the cost is worth the benefit. First off, fracking is the process of drilling down into the earth and injecting a high pressure mixture that creates fractures in the shale rock in order to reach natural gas, petroleum, and brine. This allows for companies to pump out and collect those materials. Once the hydraulic fracking fluid is removed, either sand or aluminum oxide will remain in order to hold the fracture open. This process will be quickly outlined in the following video. Although hydraulic fracking is efficient at collecting these resources, there are a number of issues that can occur because of this process. The first issues that arise from this process are economic ones. First is the cost on our resources, with the most important resource being water. In order to complete a fracking job from start to finish, it can take anywhere from 1 to 8 million gallons of water, along with 40,000 gallons of admixture chemicals. These are used per fracturing job. To put these numbers into perspective, the United States currently operates approximately 500,000 gas wells across the U.S., which totals to 72 trillion gallons of water and 360 billion gallons of chemicals needed just to run the wells that are currently operational. Along with the economic costs of hydraulic fracking, there are also negative environmental effects that are associated with the hydraulic fracking process. The first of these simply being to transport resources like water to the fracking site. It takes approximately 400 tankers to transport all of the water needed throughout the fracking process. This leads to a large amount of greenhouse gases being released into the atmosphere. The possibly largest environmental concern is the seepage of fracking fluid into the soil as it is pumped into the well at such high pressures. The reason for concern is the fact that fracking fluid can often contain lead, uranium, mercury, ethylene glycol, radium, methanol, hydrochloric acid, formaldehyde, and many others. In fact, over just the last decade, the amount of contaminated soil from fracking has increased over 5,100%, which results in 512,000 tons of waste in 2010 alone. These values are from normal operation alone, not including any incidents that may occur such as leakages or spills. Along with the soil contaminants, there is of course also air pollution that is caused as a result of hydraulic fracking. A recent study monitoring gas wells in Colorado found that approximately 4% of the methane used in hydraulic fracking is released into the atmosphere. This may not sound like much, but when taking into consideration all of the wells in the area, this totaled the same methane release as 1 to 3 million cars. The waste fluid from fracking jobs are being left in open air pits to evaporate after the job is complete. These pits release harmful volatile organic compounds, also known as VOCs, into the atmosphere, which can create adverse effects such as contaminated air, acid rain, and ground level ozone. In fact, only 30 to 50% of the hydraulic fracking fluid used throughout the process is removed. The rest is left in the pits and is not biodegradable. Finally, hydraulic fracking has also proven to lead to some low magnitude earthquakes as a result of the deep rock drilling and the high pressure fluid injection. Finally, what must be mentioned is the hydraulic fracking's effect on human health. Due to the use of fracking increasing exponentially in the last decade, it wasn't until recently that doctors have begun to examine the effects of fracking on human health. The most common cause for human health to be affected is through groundwater contamination from the fracking fluid due to either leakage within the piping or from the fractures permeating up into the groundwater aquifers of local communities. There have been thousands of reported health issues caused from the contamination of groundwater due to fracking. This contamination has affected the skin, the eyes, the respiratory and gastrointestinal systems, the brain and nervous systems, the immune and cardiovascular systems, the kidneys, and of course, the endocrine systems. In fact, it has even been reported that 25% of the chemicals used in fracking could cause cancer and mutations. With all of these issues originating from hydraulic fracking, it begs the question, are the gas and oil outputs from fracking worth the effects to our environment and health? It's up to you to decide. My name is Tyler Kirkpatrick, and thank you so much for listening.